Please support the bar by subscribe, and sharing my cast. Follow my social media at Facebook, Instagram, Gab, Parler, BitChute, YouTube, DLive, Twitch, CloutHub, and Rumble, or join my Subscribe Star. Make a donation by clicking on the links on the description box. I am a listener-supported show, so any of the above is greatly appreciated. Help me grow and spread the truth, since the mainstream media obviously does not want to support truth. All links are listed on the description box. God bless you and enjoy.
Welcome to the Speak Uneasy, a safe space where cancel culture does not exist, because we are in a different prohibition era.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of the Speak Uneasy with your host, the bartender. So tonight's random read is going to come off of the book of Galatians, chapter 1, verses 11 through 24. The revelation of Jesus Christ. But I certify you, brethren, that the gospel which was preached of me is not after man. For I neither received it of man, neither was I taught it, but by the revelation of Jesus Christ. For ye have heard of my conversation in time past in the Jews' religion, how that beyond measure I persecuted the church of God and wasted it, and profited in the Jews' religion above many my equals in mine own nation, being more exceedingly zealous of the traditions of my fathers. But when it pleased God, who separated me from my mother's womb, and called me by his grace, to reveal his Son in me, that I might preach him among the heathen. Immediately I conferred not with flesh and blood, neither went I up to Jerusalem to them which were apostles before me, but I went into Arabia, and returned again unto Damascus. Then after 3 years I went up to Jerusalem to see Peter, and abode with him 15 days. But other of the apostles saw I none, save James the Lord's brother. Now the things which I write unto you, behold, before God I lie not. Afterwards I came into the regions of Syria and Cilicia, and was unknown by face unto the churches of Judea, which were in Christ, but they had heard only that he which persecuted us in times past now preacheth the faith which once he destroyed, and they glorified God in me. Once again, this random read comes from the book of Galatians, chapter 1, verses 11 through 24, the revelation of Christ. So, here's my take on tonight's random read. It goes back to me. Look, when I say me, I don't mean it in a selfish way. I am just referring this read to me, myself. So I'm referring this read that this is reiterating why God has assigned this duty for me to spread the word of the Lord. This is plain and simple to me. I don't know how you people would apply that to your life, but once again, this is a very simple read for me. Although it had so many parables that I don't really understand, the simplest message I got of this particular read was it's reiterating to me the reason why I was assigned to do God's work. And, you know, to be honest, as patriots, as God-fearing people, we all have to do God's assignments. So once again, that's my take on tonight's random read. For tonight's cocktail, we will be making the Rusty Nail. Now, before I make the cocktail, I have a little history on the Rusty Nail. This article comes from MASH.com, and it is written by Caroline Corral. This is in October 6th of 2020. Article reads, The Mysterious Origin of the Rusty Nail Cocktail. The Rusty Nail might not have made it into the Daily Meal's ultimate list of unappealing cocktail names, but chances are it was a runner-up. Like most good cocktails, the backstory of the Rusty Nail is murky. Liquor.com reports that the drink is rumored to have been created for the British Industries Fair in 1937. In the subsequent years, Concrete Playground states the cocktail went through a variety of name changes before settling in on its long-standing modern-day moniker. Before diving into how this particular cocktail came to be named after an oxidized fastener, let's break down what exactly goes into the 60s era staple. Esquire's official recipe requires 2 ounces of scotch and half an ounce of Drambuie, mixed and served over ice in an old-fashioned glass. Some recipes call for an option of lemon, slice of lemon rather. But the 4-to-1 ration is pretty standard. While scotch is a familiar spirit to most, Drambuie is one of those mysterious bottles behind the bar that's often seen but rarely sampled. As it turned out, Drambuie was essential in the creation of the Rusty Nail. The Spruce Eats explains that the Scotch-based liquor flavored with herbs and honey was used to soften the bite Prohibition-era spirits in the state. For a while, the cocktail was known as the BIF, a nod to the fair where it was allegedly created. Concrete Playground reports that the cocktail fell out of popularity in the UK, only to make its way stateside in the 1950s under the name DNS, Drambuie and Scotch. And the MiG-21, used by U.S. troops stationed in Vietnam via Gourmantic. Liquor.com says, as the story goes, the Rusty Nail came into conversation via the bartenders at New York's iconic 21 Club in the early 1960s. The bar is responsible for another 2-ingredient classic, the B&B, Benedictine and Cognac. So there's a good chance that they could have used the same winning formula for the Rusty Nail. Make a Cocktail claims that the drink's name came from the Rusty Nail originally used to stir it. Wow. But that really doesn't hold up to standards at the swanky 21 Club. The cocktail's name was finally nailed down when the chairwoman of Drambuie gave it the official stamp of approval. As far as its rise to popularity goes, the Rat Pack was known for their love of a well-made Rusty Nail. And who could deny the influence they had on American culture? So that was a little history on the Rusty Nail by Mashed.com, written by Caroline Corral in October 6th of 2020. So we are going to go ahead and start creating this classic. So first things first, I've got my shaker because I don't have a mixing glass yet. That is in the works right now as I speak, as it is sitting in my shopping cart while I still shop for other new stuff that I'm going to be using. I will be going on video making cocktails real soon, so stay tuned for that. So this particular recipe calls for the 2 ounces of scotch to a half. I tried to make a one word with 2 words. half an ounce, right? Ounce. This is stop stuttering, dude. According to Esquire's official recipe, this calls for 2 ounces of scotch and a half ounce of Drambuie. But this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take 2 ounces of scotch and 1 ounce of Drambuie. So for today's scotch, we are going to be using the MACALLAN Gold. It's a Highland single malt scotch whiskey. I know that you're supposed to be using a blend for this, but a good friend of mine gave me this bottle for Christmas, and I said to myself, what the hell? I'm gonna go ahead and use this. I'm gonna use this bottle for today's creation of the Rusty Nail. Shouts out to my my good friend out there, Mr. Munoz. Thank you so much. Very good friend of mine, and I'm very appreciative of this MACALLAN Gold bottle that you have given to me. Thank you. So, wait. Before I pour this, let me read the tasting notes. This burnished gold spirit presents a lemon citrus nose, then orange peel, and an interlacing sweetness that softens but doesn't eliminate the zest. A quiet note of vanilla is followed by dark chocolate, more assertive, yet not overly so, with lingering floral and light oak notes. Citrus and boiled sweets rule the palate, along with hints of ginger and cinnamon, while soft oak tones reveal toasted apples. The finish is a medium sweet, malty, and slightly dry. And I guess that was this is written on the back of the bottle by Bob Dalgarno, the MACALLAN whiskey maker, apparently. Well, let's go pour us a couple ounces of this thing. So here we go. First ounce. Second ounce. Shut that bottle so we don't waste any by accident. And now for some Drambuie. Now the Drambuie, it says, let me read this first before I pour this. So the Drambuie, in 1745, Bonnie Prince Charlie landed on the west coast of Scotland. Driven by fiery ambition, he was intent on reclaiming the throne of his ancestors, rallying many to his cause. Despite early victories, they were decisively defeated. At the Battle of Culloden, and Charlie escaped to the Isle of Skye, under the protection of the MacKinnon clan. By way of thanks, he gifted them the only possession he had left, the recipe to his personal liqueur. They called it Drambuie, after the Gaelic and dram, buidhek. I don't speak Scottish, which means the drink that satisfies. After 100 years as a local secret, production started on mainland Scotland, and as Drambuie's fame spread, it was soon being poured in the finest bars around the world. Today the legend lives on, embodied in the classic cocktails like, guess what cocktail? The Rusty Nail. And then Drambuie Collins. So, it's a little fun fact about the Drambuie, which is located on the back of the bottle. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and put an ounce of this fine liqueur called the Drambuie. Awesome story behind that, huh? Put that in there. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put some ice in there. There we go. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to give this a stir. We're going to stir this for a good, I don't know, good 30 seconds. Dilute the drink a little bit. So in the meantime, I have my rocks glass sitting right now. It's being chilled with ice and water. So we're going to go ahead and keep stirring that. Give that a little bit of dilution. Stir, stir, stir. Okay, I'm gonna put a little droplet on my hand right here and give it a little taste. Wow, it tastes really good. Next thing I'm gonna do, I am going to empty out my glass full of ice and water. I'm going to go ahead and drop a sphere of ice. As soon as I can get it out of the ice molding. Jeez. All right, so next I'm going to go ahead and put my I'm blanking out what kind of strainer this thing is called. Anyways, my strainer that's on top of the shaker. And now I am going to pour me some of this rusty nail. You know, as it pours out, it pours kind of syrupy, which I think is interesting. But then again, with the Drambuie, there's honey in the Drambuie. Okay. And I don't have a lemon peel to top this thing off for some oil, for some expressed oils. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this a little bit different. I have an orange peel that I'm gonna express with oils on top of the drink. I'm going to rub the orange peel around the rim of the glass. And what I'm going to do is the orange peel that I used, I'm going to put that in my drink to make it my garnish. And now, okay, on the nose, of course I get the orange because I expressed the oils on the drink, right? But I get this honey flavor. This kind of honey flowery flavor. You could definitely smell the malt from the scotch. All right, so now I'm going to taste the rusty nail. Slanjava. Wow. Very nice. Very nice cocktail. It's very smooth. You still get that scotch taste. And I think this particular scotch that I used is a good balance for this drink, because with the Drambuie, if you've never had Drambuie, it's very, very it's very like tastes like herbal tea, sort of herbs and spices. And if you're not one of those people who like the taste of like herbs and spices and all, it's a very strong taste. But when it comes to this cocktail, the Rusty Nail, it is a well-balanced drink, and I can see why it became popular. So here's to the Rusty Nail once again. Slanja. And on to the show we go. So today I'm going to continue the articles on Podesta's military tribunal. Once again, I want to reiterate to everybody that I have no sauce on these articles. I just found these articles and decided to pick these articles to read because it was an interesting topic of discussion. And I mean, that's what we do around here, right? We find these articles and we discuss what our thoughts on the articles. And like I said, it is your responsibility to do your own research to find out whether things are true or not. And I am not telling you that these are true, and I am not telling you that these are not true, but it's just a topic of discussion that I think that should be discussed about and putting thoughts into it. And I think I've repeated myself twice by saying it 2 different times. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and continue this. Article reads, Podesta Military Tribunal, Day Number 2. Article was written by Michael Baxter on May 6th of this month, or this year rather, and it comes from realrawnews.com. On Wednesday, okay, I'm going to refer, because they have a person here who has a title of Rear ADM. I don't know what that acronym means, so I might say administrator or admiral, because I really don't know. I don't know what that title is. On Wednesday afternoon, Rear Admin or Admiral Crandall came out swinging. Not only did the defendant abuse innocent, unsuspecting children, but he took medication to carry out his macabre crimes. Rear Admin or Admiral Crandall addressed the 3-officer all-female panel. C. For much of his adult life, John Podesta has had erectile dysfunction. He admitted to this pre-trial, and you have before you copies of his written statements with his signature in his handwriting. To remedy his ailment, Podesta did what many men do. He got a prescription for ED medication, in his case Cialis. Unlike most men, however, Podesta didn't use this medication to have consensual sex with adult partners. He used it to terrorize adolescents. Let that sink in. John Podesta took erectile dysfunction medication to have sex with kids. That's in quotes, okay? And the next paragraph is going to be in quotes as well. It's hard for me to articulate to you, Rear Admin or Admiral, Crandall said, still addressing the panel, not because you find officers are all female, but because of the nature of these crimes. I'd have the same difficulty talking to an all-male commission. You know, it's difficult for me to hear this too, because we're talking about children and their innocence, and something that can never be fixed again when they grow up. So this is hard for me. This is hard for me to compute in my brain. According to Podesta's statement, he grew weary of taking Cialis, which, he said, left him feeling lethargic and nauseous afterward. In August 2009, he was told of a, quote, miracle remedy that allegedly treated ailments from the common cold to pneumonia, from erectile dysfunction to stage 4 pancreatic cancer. The person who told Podesta about this cure was none other than, you ready for this? William Jefferson Clinton, who, Podesta claimed, had self-administered it for nearly 30 years. You know, I already know what this is prefacing to. I know what they're going to talk about, and I have not read this article yet. I know where this is going, people. And I'm pretty sure if you've been following what's going on with children and human trafficking, I'm pretty sure you know where this is leading up to. The cure, here we go, involved a process whereby blood was drawn from the adrenal gland of young, frightened children. How did we know that, people? How did we know it was already that it was directing us to this direction? The younger and the more frightened, the better, Podesta had written in his statement to JAG. Several vacutainers of blood were taken from children, usually when they were in a state of unfathomable fear. Would you believe that? How did I know it was coming to this? Because the blood was drawn from a small gland above the kidneys, the jab was extremely painful. You know, I think what those kids were going through on top of this was the most extreme pain that they've ever felt in all their senses. Podesta says the blood was spun through a centrifuge, then refrigerated and sent to an underground laboratory in Switzerland, where it was blended with other chemicals and attenuated into a compound that, when injected, rejuvenated the recipient with newfound vim and vigor. He also says it never cured his ED. Mind you, there is no scientific evidence supporting the efficiency or efficacy of this fairy tale compound, but he says he and countless others have taken it to feel youthful, energetic, and to extend life. Rear Admiral Crandall said. In his statement, Podesta said the pharmaceutical concoction, which he called, you ready for this, guys? You ready for this? Adrenochrome. There's a bunch of numbers and letters here. I'll read it. I'll be using the phonetic alphabet. So I got Charlie 9, Hotel 9, November, I believe that's Oscar 3, Charlie Uniform 7, Tango India 9, Charlie November 5. Was administered either by injection or for greater efficiency. Efficiency? Yeah, efficiency. Intravenously, suspended in a saline solution. He wrote he had received a dozen infusions since 2009. This fiend says this product is being used by thousands of wealthy people. That does not strike me as surprising at all. Wealthy because he said it costs about, you guys ready for this? $250,000 per injection or $425,000 per infusion. Let's be clear. This is sickening, and if true, people who took this will eventually be brought to justice. Boy, I hope so. Rear Admin or Admiral Crandall said. As he spoke, a handcuffed Podesta sat silently beside his attorney with his elbows planted firmly on the desk. His head lowered, he avoided glancing at the three officers tasked with deciding his fate. Rear Admin or Admiral Crandall said the prosecution would present its final evidence, Thursday afternoon. And I'm assuming that's Thursday of last week because this article was written on May 6th. So there we go, guys. Day 2 of the soap opera of the fate of Mr. John Podesta the Molestah. It doesn't look too good for him. It does not look too good for him. As far as my eyes go, I can't place my eyes on the three people who are going to decide his fate, but as far as my eyes go, it's not looking good for Podesta the Molestah. And it's funny, even though I have no sauce on these articles, let's just use common sense thinking here because, well, I don't know how to reword common sense, because common sense is not common anymore, as a lot of people have lost their damn minds into actually doing critical thinking and thinking for themselves. They want to be put on this automatic thinking thing and just go with whatever the mainstream media says. But anyways, let's put this thought into perspective. And look, I'm not saying that I have the juice on these stories if they're true, but this is what I'm saying. Have we even heard or seen any signs of these people in public light? Have we seen them in public light lately? I haven't. Not a news clip, not a Twitter feed, nothing. I haven't. Social media, nothing. I mean, the social media part is probably going to be the easiest way to manipulate that and lie, because you don't actually have to show your face, and you don't have to necessarily show videos to prove that it's you. So you type something in there and you say something. But as far as like live, how do I say, like paparazzi style live videos, we have not seen these people in public light in a while. So to me, the possibility of this being true is pretty good. It's a good possibility that this could be happening. But like I said, I have no way to figure out if this is true. But I'm just using my mind as a critical thinker and a free thinker, which all of us should be. But can you imagine being in that panel, having to decide this dude's fate after all the stuff he's done to little kids? Oh, and on a off but similar kind of topic, I've I saw this video. I think it was like a couple of years ago about Chester Bennington, and the connection between Chester Bennington and John Podesta, about how John Podesta is the father of Chester Bennington. I thought that was a very interesting topic, and not to mention that if you do a photo comparison of their mugshots side by side, the resemblance is strikingly similar. The resemblance between the facial features of both men are very, very similar, and I can see and I can understand and see why a lot of songs that Chester Bennington wrote was very emotional and very painful stuff. I can totally see why, because of the stuff that he had to go through to if this is all true, the stuff that he had to go through with this guy, Podesta. But yeah, I mean, if you ever get a chance to look that up, that is very interesting. That is a very interesting comparison of facial features, and the story in itself seemed very interesting. I mean, now that makes it made a lot of sense to me now why Chester Bennington wrote so many songs that came from so much pain. But back to Mr. Molestah Podesta's fate. It's not looking good, man. It's not looking good. But when I come back after the break, we're gonna talk about, because I already have day 3 here on my hands. I have not read the article yet. And according to this, it was written or published on May 7th, which is the day after this. So these trials are going real fast. If these are true, they are flying real fast with this. I mean, imagine the other one that I read about Hillary Clinton. That went real fast. And that demon, even at the point of right before she allegedly died, still had the tenacity to say, you can't do this to me. I'm so-and-so. And I'd rather not say her name because she's gone and I don't give a damn about her. She got what she deserved. The only thing that should have been changed about that was it should have been made public. We should have seen that publicly, live. And I hope one day that we all see that happening on some kind of, news bit, because they need to be, it needs to be seen by everybody. And I'm not saying that in a macabre kind of way. I'm saying that because we need to see the consequences of very bad crimes, so people will think twice about doing stuff like that again. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and take a break. And when we get back from the break, I'm going to read day number 3. And even just looking at the title of day 3, whoo. So we'll be back. And welcome back from the break. So to continue the articles in regards to Podesta, the Molestah's own tribunal, according to these articles, this next article is going to read. This is day 3. We're on day 3, and it looks like this is a pretty exciting one. Article reads: Podesta Military Tribunal, Day 3, guilty. Once again, I'm going to repeat this. This was written by Michael Baxter on May 7th, which was last week of this year, by realrawnews.com. On Thursday, the Office of Military Commissions Rear Admin or Admiral Crandall presiding segued away from Podesta's fascination with small children and focused instead on criminal actions he had taken against Donald J. Trump and his family. Rear Admin or Admiral Crandall showed the 3-officer all-female panel statements of guilt Podesta had written and signed prior to the tribunal and before the military had rescinded a plea deal removing capital punishment from the table. One statement described how Podesta, Hillary Clinton, and then DNC chairwoman Donna Brazile planned to extort Trump into dropping out of the 2016 presidential election. The plan was Podesta's idea. Involved kidnapping Trump's... Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? Involved kidnapping Trump's youngest son, Barron, and threatening to send him home in pieces. What the hell? Unless Trump followed the kidnapper's demands. Wow. Would you believe that, guys? This just blew my mind. To obfuscate their participation, Podesta suggested using a third party with no ties to the DNC to hire Chinese nationals to grab Barron Trump. Like the triads, maybe? At the time, Barron was 10 years old and typically in the company of his mother, Melania Trump. Tuesday and Friday afternoons were the exceptions. For 2 hours on those days, Barron left his mother's side and traveled with a Secret Service detail to posh NYC toy stores like FAO Schwartz and Kidding Around, child-friendly places the Secret Service had rigorously vetted. Not SS as in Nazi, okay? It's SS as in Secret Service. They've learned the Trump schedule. They intended to either pay off the Secret Service or create a distraction to kidnap young Barron. This ill-conceived plot was not carried out, but that's not the point. Conspiracy to commit a crime, that's what you call a true conspiracy right there. That's what, when you're planning something, that's what a conspiracy is having to plan something. So people who call people like myself a conspiracy theorist, you might want to recheck what the definition of conspiracy is, because conspiracy is actually plotting something. Conspiracy to commit a crime is an actionable offense. The level of hubris is mind-boggling. You think, but these people, man, let me just read through this first. I keep doing that to myself. I keep stopping and having to comment on things. I'm beginning to sound like another person that I used to listen to, so I better stop. Rear Admin or Admiral Crandall told the panel. Moreover, he showed the panel an email Podesta had sent to Clinton and Brazil. Difficult but doable. Will cost a lot probably, but if we get B, then D. We'll have no choice, the email read. A reply from Brazil said, let's do it. Oh my goodness, man. Clinton and her minion, the defendant, were publicly confident Hillary wouldn't win that election. Privately, they had an abundance of fear that Trump was going to win. So fearful, they wanted to kidnap his son. A profusion of both arrogance and fear, Rear Admin or Admiral Crandall said. After a short recess, Rear Admiral Crandall, tongue twisters, focused on a Podesta and Clinton hatched plot to assassinate President Donald J. Trump during his visit to the Vatican City on May 23rd to the 24th of 2017. Podesta's written confession told a horrific tale about hiring someone to murder Trump at the Apostolic Palace. In this case, the plan to kill Trump failed, but still a life was lost. Rear Admin or Admiral Crandall read from Podesta's confession. Oh, here we go, guys. Here's the juice. Here's the juice of whatever Podesta allegedly wrote. It was both our idea to eliminate Trump because we knew Pence would be more agreeable to work with. Hillary had connections in the Vatican, and she asked me to contact a man I knew only as Vittore Mazzi. We wired him the equivalent of $2.5 million. We told him we didn't want details, only results. He wrote back, cryptically. He would poison Trump's dinner plate and make sure it was only Trump who got poisoned food. Since we were not expecting to hear back until the job was completed or network news announced Trump was dead. I didn't check the email address he responded to until after the dinner was scheduled. If I'd checked earlier, I would have told him to find a different way to kill Trump, because we know, of course, that a food tester accompanies him on most domestic and all trips abroad. I learned shortly thereafter that someone besides Trump had eaten the food from his plate and died. Oh my goodness, man. Oh gosh. The administration covered it up because there isn't supposed to be public knowledge that a president employs a food tester, and his administration was afraid public dissemination would damage public opinion of the Secret Service. That's what I learned. And I can only assume they asked the Vatican to keep it under wraps. My goodness, man. Look, on a side note to this, man, if you sign up for the Secret Service, big kudos to you, what you guys do. I mean, you're literally putting your life on the line to protect the president and his family. That is if you want to talk about something very selfless, that's it right there. Let me continue on. The defendant was a pitiful schemer, Rear Admin or Admiral Crandall said. Addressing the panel, it seems that when Clinton tasked you with planning these crimes, things always went awry. Your involvement is indisputable. Regardless the statements and emails, out of his own mouth he admitted to these crimes at Clinton's trial. This commission could spend weeks or even months highlighting his expansive criminal career, but we have others to bring to justice. Ooh, oh, okay. There's more people. A tearful and sullen Podesta slouched in his chair because he knows he's a rat. He's a rat. They're all rats, dude. Cockroaches. Besides him, his counsel, Tricia Anderson, stared at the screen of her MacBook and rapped at the keys. She slowly rose to her feet and with an acrimonious smirk on her face, asked to make a statement. I remind the commission that my client's admissions of guilt were based on a good faith agreement. JAG has pulled a bait and switch on Mr. Podesta. Had he known he might receive capital punishment, he would not have cooperated. The U.S. military is subverting justice, and Mr. Podesta, by no means a picture-perfect man, who among us is being railroaded. I ask that you ladies, you officers, consider JAG's behavior before considering Mr. Podesta's outcome, Tricia Anderson said. Rear Admin or Admiral Crandall gave a brief review of the charges and reminded the panel that a military commission, unlike a civilian court, needed only a majority vote to convict. He also said the tribunal, again unlike a civilian trial, does not have a separate penalty phase, that judgment be rendered once a determination of guilt is reached. Without a moment's hesitation, the panel announced it had reached a verdict, finding Podesta, hear this guys, guilty on all charges. It recommended Podesta receive capital punishment for his grievous crimes. Miss Anderson, does your client understand the verdict, and does he have a preference as to how the sentence will be carried out? Rear Admin or Admiral Crandall asked. Podesta broke down in tears, his shoulders heavily fitfully. You're murdering him? You decide, Tricia Anderson said. Very well. The commission decrees John Podesta will face, here we go, guys, here we go, capital punishment by firing squad. The act to be carried out on June 1st. This session of the Military Commission on Tribunals is concluded, Rear Admin or Admiral Crandall said. As Podesta was helped to his feet and escorted from the tribunal chamber, his counsel said she would appeal the decision to anyone and everyone willing to listen. Good luck with that, bitch. Look, I understand that defense attorneys do their part in defending who they're defending, but when you have a guy who has admitted to all what he's done, I mean, if you have any ethical, moral values still left in you as a defense attorney at that point, after all of the stuff that's been admitted to, maybe you should recuse yourself from defending that dude, because now that they've admitted to everything, I don't know. That's just the way I feel. And man, oh man, can you believe that? How does it feel to have a little taste of your own medicine with baiting and switching, not playing by somebody's word? Because all you people who committed all these crimes, that's all you do all day is lie to everybody. How does it feel to be lied to? Or how does it feel to be baited and switched? That's just a little taste of what we go through with what you guys do to us. That is not even a speck of what you guys have been doing to us, we the people. Doesn't feel good, does it? Especially when your life is on the line, right? Podesta, the molester. Ooh. Man, I really hope that these are true. I really do hope that these are true. You know, I did not know. I did not have any like sauce on attempts on Trump's family and Trump himself. I only speculated in my head that they would be coming for him, especially after what they've done to John F. Kennedy, after what they've done to him, like publicly executed him, right? In Daley Plaza. I was already making assumptions that these guys will be trying to get Trump, but I did not realize, and like I said, I have no sauce for this story, right? But I did not, I wouldn't imagine that they would kidnap his youngest son and cut him into pieces and send him back. Only demons would think about something like that. Only demons. That is so. This is mind blowing. These articles are so mind blowing. I hope there's sauce to this. I hope one day that we all learn the truth as to if this really happened or not. I hope so. Because we all need closure on justice being served after all the crimes they've committed, especially to little children. So I'm very glad to hear that, you know, although that there's no sauce to this story, this is I mean, what's the best way of me describing this? I guess the best way of me describing this is that I hope that this is true. And if it is, justice is definitely being served. So I hope you enjoy your firing squad there, Mr. Podesta, the Molestah, on June 1st. It's going to be a special day. What day is June 1st? A Tuesday? Ooh. Maybe I'll do a special episode on Tuesday. So, anyways, what a day of discussion of this topic, huh? Podesta the Molestah, his military tribunal, huh? Imagine if this were true. Oh. And to think that this trial is going real fast? 3 days. According to these articles, 3 days. Can you believe that? Wow. Anyways, that's all I got for today. And if you guys haven't caught me yet on foxhole.app, please do. I stream there every Sunday. My times may change from time to time as I'm trying to schedule my live streams with other content makers out there, because I don't want to be stepping on toes. I'm very brand new, and it's just a consideration thing for people who have put their time in there first. I do believe in working your way up, and I have so much respect for everybody who's in Foxhole, as far as, you know, not only the people that go there to listen with the chatters, but also people who have made content there. I have much great respect for them, and I put myself low on the totem pole because that's the way that I've learned to earn respect and earn my way up. That should apply in every aspect of your life. I mean, that I learned a valuable lesson as far as that way goes from work, that I have to work my way up. I have to build my own reputation first. And I'm not one to barge in and just dictate what I want to do. No. Because I'm brand new, I want to be able to work with everybody. Because I would be expecting the same thing when new content makers come, and to work with each other and be very, coordinate well. I am a firm believer in earning your way through. And if I do accidentally step on toes, just know that it's not intentional. I just try to find the time slots that work for me and my family and whoever I have on, if I do have anybody on. So I'm glad to have spilled this, shared this article with you guys, and I hope that you guys catch more of my content. I will be having my own website coming out real soon. The website will be thespeakuneasy.tv. It's not active yet, but please follow me on social media, as I am on Instagram, I am on CloutHub, I am on Gab, I am on BitChute, and for now, YouTube. And of course, I'm on foxhole.app and also pill.net. I really hope that I do this more on a consistent basis as far as live streaming goes. And I enjoy doing this for you guys. Because like I've explained to everybody out there that God has assigned me to do this. And this has been such a rewarding journey for me to put content out there and to share stories and just chill with you guys on the live streams as well. It's been a very, very awesome. It's been an awesome road, although it's made me super busy and sometimes too much on my plate, but I enjoy it. Because I'm making connections with such wonderful people, and I'm hopefully waking people up. So, I guess I'll see you guys on another... I won't see you guys, obviously. But I hope to speak with you guys on another episode. So, as I end every show, with that being said...
The bar is now closed.
I can't help but wonder if I'm under a spell. It's more than a passing notion. I've never fallen with such devotion. I can't help but wonder if it's only a dream. Am I naive or can I believe that things are really as they seem? Can anyone explain how to understand what's true? I know I just can't tame it. Whenever I'm with you, I can't help but wonder if you wonder about me. 'Cause lately I can't help but wonder how wonderful this might be. Can anyone explain it? How to understand what's true? I know I just can't take it. Whenever I'm with you, but wonder if you wonder about me, 'cause lately I can't help but wonder how wonderful this might be, 'cause lately I can't help but wonder how wonderful this might